Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Bible Inspired. This channel is all about exegetical Bible study to allow the Word to speak to us and not let us tell the Bible what to say. That's really difficult for a lot of people, especially when you're involved in a denomination. So that's what this whole channel is to do, is to allow God's Word to speak true to us. And no better way than having a Bible software like the one you see on the screen, which is Logos. And if you use the link in the description box below, you get 5 free books and you get a bunch of discounts off of a lot of stuff. And it's really worth it. It helps you out and it also helps out this ministry. So if you don't mind using that link, that'd be greatly appreciated. So this video is just going to show you how I set up my Bible study in an in-depth Bible study. And again, this is going to be preference. So you may start with this, or you may not start with this, and you may go to a different thing. But everyone's going to have their own little way of setting up stuff. But this is how I have it set up, and I do hope that it blesses you, and I hope you like it and you learn something from it and set up, and you can set up your way. And if you do need help setting up your Logos, just let me know, and I'll definitely try to help out, make videos and stuff. But this is how I like to have it set up. My preferred Bible that I like to use is the ESV. It's a really easy translation to use, and it's common words that we know in 2024, and therefore I like to have that set up. You can see that I have the interlinear turned off, but if I wanted to turn it on, all I would have to do is hit the Greek and Hebrew letters right here. But I have it turned off because I can just double click on words, or if I want to look at a word right here like angel, I just can click on it and look and see over there, and I can see what it means and stuff like that. Or I can hover over the angel and I can see that it's a noun, accusative, plural, masculine, and it gives me the Strong Concordance number right here at the bottom. But I usually have it turned off. So that's what I have underneath there. And then underneath that, I have the KJV, and you can see that I have it in red right here. I have the KJV in red. I'll get to that in a second. And then I also have the Net Bible. I absolutely love the Net Bible. It is not as easy to read as the ESV, but it is my favorite Bible. You can see that I have it open on my desk. Is my favorite Bible to study, just me and God one-on-one. This is what I want to use because it has so many notes on there, and they took such a beautiful time to go through every single thing and point out a lot of stuff that you'll just miss if you just read the Bible. So if I'm by myself, I'm definitely going to read the Net Bible. That is my go-to Bible. And if I'm teaching the Bible like I am here, I'm going to use the ESV. Again, there's no really right translation out there. I know there's a lot of people that say the KJV only, or the whatever translation that they want. There's really no preference in there. I think the most important thing is to study the original language. This is why I love speaking Greek, and this is why I'm learning how to read the Greek language. And I can have a dialect right now in the Greek language because it's such a fantastic, beautiful, ancient language. But anyway. But you can see that I have it set up right here. You can also see over here that I have an Old Testament quotations and allusions in the New Testament. This is a awesome tool, and it comes in handy when you start going through other stuff. And you can see right here in Hebrews 2 verses 13, you can see that over here in the cross reference over here underneath this book that I have in Logos, the Old Testament quotations and allusions in the New Testament, you can see that this is what is being hinted to. We can see that it's talking about Hebrews 2:12, which is right above where we are, and also Psalms 22 to 22. But you can see this, and you don't pick that up unless you have a Bible that has a bunch of notes, or you have this little tool. So you can see also, if I scroll, you can see that this is also syncing up with that. And so you can see that I have a B right here, a B right here, and a B right here. All I do is I click on these 3 little dots, and I set link set, and I have it linked to B. So no matter where this is automatically going to change, and this is automatically going to change. So if I scroll, you can see that this is scrolling, and the Old Testament quotations of the New Testament is there also. But if I switch to the KJV, which has a red circle here. It's not a B, but it's a red one. And you can see that I can scroll here all day long and it doesn't sync. Or if I go to my B links, I can scroll and it won't link up with it. So this comes in handy right here, and I like the KJV because that is the one that's going to be around in a million years if we have that long to live, long to go before the earth gets destroyed by God. So this is the one that I like to have off to the side. And what this red does is that right here I can see that Hebrews 5:1 is alluded to in all these verses. So if I want to pull up Isaiah, so I have over here Hebrews 5:1, but if I want to look up, I wonder what the context of Isaiah 49:2 is. So all I have to do is click on it, and it pulls it to the KJV verse down here. And now I can scroll up a little bit to the beginning of the chapter, or actually go up a couple more verses, or I can just read it from where it's at and then read downwards. And so this is what that red is. And how you set that up is you just click on here and you say send to hyperlink here. So these are called hyperlinks. So since I have it set up that way, this every time I click on it, it's going to send it to the King James Bible. But if I have the New American Standard Bible and I set the hyperlink here, you can see that every time I click on one of these links, it will automatically go here, but it won't change my preferred Bible. And so that is a fantastic tool to use. So you can not lose your spot in your preferred Bible, but you can still go down here and read it just by clicking on it. Want to read Revelations 2:12? Well, there it is. You want to read Revelations 2:16? You just click on it and goes to 2:16. You can read it and you can see that that's how that works. And that's an awesome tool to use. Then finally over here, I have the exegetical guide. And if you're going to study in the original language or study what a passage means, this is where you're going to want to use it. And how you get here is either you can go right here, you can type in exegetical guide, or you can just click on here and you can see that this is the exegetical guide. So here's your little compass thing. You just click on exegetical guide and it pops up. And now I can go to Galatians 1:19 and look what happens. This comes in here, your content. I have 0 on there because I don't write anything on there. I don't take notes on Logos. Hardly ever do I take notes on Logos. I'd rather write it or do it in Word because most likely I'm going to turn it into a book. So you have this, then you have textual variants. This is going to show you where it has changed, morphed over time. And you can see that that's where that is. Then you can see the textual variants. The translations, I don't have any on there. And you can see that the online manuscripts, I don't have that. But if you click on it, you can see that it will take you outside there and you can see all the manuscripts, which is actually kind of cool if you get bored. And I don't know what you're going to do with that, but it's actually kind of cool to have. Right here is where you're going to want to really pay attention to. This is what we call parsing out the Greek. Since we're in the New Testament, you'll be parsing out the Greek. If you're in the Old Testament, you'll be parsing out the Hebrew. But right here, you can see that it goes in order, and Greek is not written in the same order as English. And so when you do see this, you can see that this is breaking it out, and you just can see where it's going down. It breaks it down, and then you can set this up how you want it. So I have BDAG as my number one preferred lexicon, which I think everyone should have. That should be their number one go-to. It is probably the greatest tool in Logos software. But then you can see that it breaks it all down. And I do believe you can click on here and it'll teach you how to say it. So not only can you learn what it means, but let's see if you can hear it.
Heteros.
Heteros. So other means hetero, or translated from heteros. So you can learn Greek while you're parsing out the Greek, which is a fantastic tool. So if you're going to do videos and you want to seem like you know how to speak Greek, like here's apostles.
Apostolos.
So it's pretty cool. And you get that through the exegetical guide. So you can see that, and it breaks it down word by word. Learn how to read it. This is actually the tool I use to be able to read John 1:1 in the original Greek. Though I don't pronounce it in the Koinonia Greek. I try to use the modern day Greek, but nevertheless, it is a fantastic tool to use. Then you have the grammatical construction of it. This is telling you how it is, and you can see but and except, and so you can learn how to study that, and you can see that that's what that is. Then you have important words. So these are the important words that the Logos tends to feel that these are the most important words that make up this verse, and it allows you to do it. And also it has this little volume you can apostolos, so you can learn how to do that. And how do you say brother in Greek?
Adelphos.
Adelphos. So it's really cool tool. It's an awesome tool to have. And then you have the lema in the passage, and then it breaks down that lema is the root word type of stuff. And then right here is what is I love this in the exegetical guide. These are early church fathers. So who was speaking about Galatians 1:19? Well, you can see that here's all the early church fathers that they tend to speak of it. And here's the allusions that we have, and you can just click this little more button, and these are the allusions to Galatians 1:19. So if you want to know what Galatians, let's actually go to it, and so I can show you, because this is one of the arguments I used against Catholics. So Catholics will say that Mary was an everlasting virgin. Well, if you don't know that, then you'll probably believe what they say, right? But the Bible tells us to Acts 17:11 is to receive what people say, but not believe it. Take it to the Word of God and see if it's telling the truth. And so James, the Lord's brothers. So what does that mean? And so you can go through the early church fathers, and what actually were point blank saying, and the allusions to it, and see that the early church fathers taught that James and Jesus were actually blood brothers from the same womb. And so you can see that, hey, that doctrine that the Catholic Church has is really not biblical. And so this is what you get what you'll learn through this. And you can see that the works of Josephus is on here. So you can see that Antiquities 200, you can see that you can right there at the bottom, it says James and some others who are called Jesus's brother. This is actually the blood brother. And then underneath that, you have commentaries. You have Anglican, I think is how you say it. And then I have them in alphabetical order. I don't prefer one denomination over another, because if I'm going to read a commentary, it's probably most likely going to be from someone that's already dead, because dead people don't change their opinion. So I'm going to most likely going to read them that are already passed on and already in heaven. But you can change it if you want to only read Baptists, or if you only want to read Catholics or Lutherans or Protestant or whatever you want to read, you can have that. And then you have the journals down here on here, and you can see where some of the journals were mentioned on here in ancient times. And so you can see that's what it is. Fantastic tool. But if you do like this type of video and you need help setting up, or you have questions about Logos, by all means, put it in the box below, ask the questions, and I'll definitely get to them. It is a learning curve, but it's well worth it, because you get so much out of Logos, and it does help so much, and it does go into great depth, and it clears up a lot of stuff. And I hope that it blesses you too.